What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video I'm going to be talking about UFC 318, their next pay-per-view on the books. It's about 3 weeks away. And I am fucking so confused by this card. This shit is just weird. This card is not great. It's very mid. To me, this is a fight night card. Like, if they put this as a fight night card, I'd still consider the Abu Dhabi card better as a fight night than this as a pay-per-view, which is crazy. Which says, one, this card is mid as fuck, and also the Abu Dhabi card is stacked as fuck. Because you should not be able to take a pay-per-view, and then if you turned it into a fight night, it still isn't as good. Like, I don't think anyone would deny that UFC Abu Dhabi fight night, with all the fights that are on it, you already know the fights. There's like 7 fucking good fights on that card, like 7 like really good fights. I don't think anyone would deny that you're more excited for UFC Abu Dhabi than you are for this card, and they're charging $80 for this shit. So I'm gonna be talking about the card. Also, the card order makes no fucking sense because they're making this card look even more mid than it is by ordering it the way that they have. Like, they've actually managed to... The card is not bad if it just is missing an actual co-main event. Like, if you got an actual co-main event for this card, it would actually be quite good. But it's just very odd, and a lot of these fights are sort of fight night quality fights, not pay-per-view. We just saw with 317, like, there is no Van Rival on this card. There is no Pantoja Carafans. There is no Poirier Oliveira. This card is just lacking, like, real stakes, and people get, like, I'm not gonna have butterflies and nerves and like be on the edge of my seat, nervous of the outcome for UFC 318 for Poirier versus Holloway. Let me know in the comments. Maybe you guys are just incredibly invested in Max Holloway's career, or you're really just nervously awaiting the retirement of Dustin Poirier. I'm not going to be watching this with bated breath like I was with fucking Oliveira to Poirier, or to Poirier Holloway, or even Holloway Gaethje. This just doesn't feel like some crazy, like, oh my god, I can't wait for this fight. Which I think you need at least one of those on a pay-per-view for it to be good. So yeah, anyway, we're going to be previewing the entire card, talking about all the matchups, predicting the fights, all of that. Prison Hierarchy tier list's coming soon, don't worry guys. Anyway, let's get started. So, the main event, Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier 3. Again, part of the reason why I'm not that interested in the fight, it's a trilogy. Poirier's up 2-0. It just didn't feel like the fight that we were clamoring for. Like, I don't think anyone was like, we gotta see Poirier Holloway run it back before their careers are done. Like, I think everyone would have been like, oh, well, yeah, if Poirier's got 5 more fights, yeah, that'd be one of them. But it's like, alright, we knew this is his last fight. We knew they had the opportunity to do something big here. And you just feel like they missed the boat. And they could have done Gaethje versus Poirier. Like, that just feels like the fight that they could have done. And they didn't. It's just weird. I don't know why. Even after Gaethje beat Rafael Fiziev, like, he fought in March. That'd be April, May, June, July. That'd be 4 months. I don't know why they didn't do that. Poirier said he wanted it. I guess Gaethje either didn't want it or the UFC wanted to go the Holloway course of things, just schedule-wise, I guess. It just doesn't make sense to me. I'm not that hyped for it. Like, it's going to be fun as hell, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be the down and be like, bro, this fight's going to suck. This is the thing with this card. It's going to be really fun, but this is my take. Like, the Nashville card is going to be really fun, which is why I'm not really shitting on it too much, because it's free TV and it's fun. So I don't really care if you're giving me a bunch of unranked fights, if I'm not having to pay for it, because they're fun fights. Like, the UFC Apex card on August 2nd is a fight night arena quality card. Like, that is a better card than the UFC Nashville card, and that's in the Apex. And that's free. I'm not complaining about these cards that are good and they're free, because they're just fun in execution. But when you get to a pay-per-view, you can't just be like, oh, but Johnson versus Zellhuber's going to be a fun fight. It's like, well, no, I'm not trying to pay for Johnson versus Zellhuber. Like, I'm trying to pay for actual stakes. Again, I'm not trying to pay at all. But if you're going to expect people to pay, they're going to be paying for actual stakes. They're going to be paying for important fights. Because, I hate to break it to you, people aren't going to be clamoring to the pay-per-view buy button so they make sure they can't miss Patricio Pitbull versus Dan Ige. People aren't going to be clamoring to make sure they don't miss a Tiba Gautier and Valentin, or Michael Johnson and Daniel Zellhuber, they'll catch that shit on ESPN the next day. They'll catch that on the fucking UFC socials after the finishes happen. Like, the main event is the only one that people will probably, like, stop. Like, if you're a casual fan, you're not... again, I know the casual test is not how we should be grading this card. If there's casuals watching this video, which I don't think my channel gets many casuals, I think those are more reserved for the Joeys and the Kennys and the Hopper MMAs of the world. They get the more casual fans in their comments. But if you are a casual, like if you're a recent watcher of the sport, let me know. Are you going to be like stopping your daily plans and putting down everything? Like, obviously, if you make the plans, you're going to watch the card with your mates and shit, that's cool. But like, if you're out with friends or you're out at a bar or something, you're not going to be pulling out your phone to make sure you don't miss Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zellhuber. Like, the only fight that anyone who isn't a hardcore fan is really going to watch is the main event. And it's not even that incredible. Like, it's just fun and, yeah, cool. Like, I think Holloway's going to win. There is a part of me that wants to just pick Poirier and just say vibes, shine bright like a diamond, he's going to win in his retirement. But it's just weird. And also, again, like, if Poirier wins, he's 3-0 against Max. Max is already committed to moving up, seemingly. I guess he could drop back down. But again, Max's career is just cooked, because Illy's the champ of lightweight, Volk's the champ of featherweight. I don't think there's a large portion of the fan base that's clamoring to watch either of those fights ran back again. And then he's lost 3 times to Poirier, who's just retired. So it's like, what are we doing now? Who the fuck does he fight after that? Like, is he fighting a Dan Hooker next or something? Or is he just do like the Charles Oliveira fight, win or lose? Like, I don't know what they do with Holloway, because it's like Poirier's done, so you don't get anything out of him with a win. Like, if Poirier wins, it's just a cool moment, and then he's gone, and you don't get to capitalize off that. Like, if Poirier sleeps Holloway, incredible for him. But then it's like, what do? You don't get to run that promo for his next fight. He's not having a next fight. He's done. Like, I don't think... This does feel like a retirement that's legit. This feels like Poirier's been setting this up for ages. This isn't a snap judgment call like, oh, I'm going to retire now, and then he comes back a year later. This is like, he's been setting this up, and he's like, alright, got one more, uno mas, whatever, and then he's done. So, I don't know, I just don't get it. I think Holloway could edge it out. It's, again, I got questions with the chin, I got questions with how much better and worse each other are from the first fight. Is Poirier going to just come out guns blazing, just ready to scrap? Like, is Holloway going to be a bit gun shy after his last fight? You wouldn't think so. How much is lighter man skill going to play into this? You know, we saw how good Holloway looked against Gaethje. Is it a stylistic sting because Gaethje beat Poirier? In terms of the most recent time they fought, Holloway beat Gaethje, Gaethje beat Poirier. Can you MMA math it? There's a lot of questions. So the fight is still somewhat interesting, and it's still going to be a banger, and you're still always excited to watch Max Holloway or Dustin Poirier fight, no matter who they're across the cage from. But to me, I'm just not jumping out of my seat for this. Like, I'm more excited for I'm literally more invested in Azamat Bakaev versus Torres Finney than I am this fight. I'm more nervous to watch fucking Kevin Vallejos' next fight than this fight. Like, that's just me personally. I'm more hyped for UFC August 2nd Apex card than I am for UFC 318. Personal opinion. You guys can say, oh, you're just trying to be different. Like, to me, look at those cards. I feel like that's 318's less interesting, personally. Anyway, though, let's move on from the main event and we'll talk about the co-main. Hey, listen, kid, this is a badass fight. How do you not put number 14 Dan Ige versus unranked Patricio Pitbull on the fucking co-main event of a pay-per-view, kid? That, let me tell you, that's a badass fight, kid. What are they doing? Like, I'm sorry, bro, you instantly make a pay-per-view look worse when you put Dan Ige, Patricio Pitbull on the co-main event. The only explanation and justification for Dan Ige in a co-main event that will ever be accepted by the fan base is him stepping up on short notice to fight Lopez because he fought on fucking 2 hours notice. Like, that is legitimately the only justification there is for ever putting Dan Ige in a pay-per-view co-main event. Fight night co-main event, no fucking worries about it. Like, genuinely, I wish they just made this a fucking fight night. Just say no pay-per-view in July, fight night. No one would complain because it's the same cards. And the thing is, there's like no pay-per-view in September too. If we get 3 stacked fight nights in the arena if we get a stacked Paris card, a stacked Noche card, and a stacked Australia card, which is seemingly where they're going to go for that last week of September, because they're not going to do a 3-week break between fights. God help us if they do. But if they do 3 stacked arena fight nights, no one is going to fucking complain about September not having a pay-per-view. It's just when you do mid shit like this. If you do a pay-per-view that's mid and mid fight nights, it's tough. Fortunately, this month we do have a good fight night in the Abu Dhabi card, and a mid pay-per-view and a solid fight night, I guess, mid fight night. But yeah, what the fuck? Like, Dan Ige, Patricio Pitbull is, like, to me, an arena fight night feature fight. Not even an arena fight night co-main. Like, if this was the co-main of Nashville with the current lineup, I'd be like, alright, cool. Like, you could probably put, like, a few fights above it. Like, there's probably a few fights that are better, but I get if you want Pitbull in the co-main. Why is this a paper? Like, you're not getting these wannabe hardcore fucking Aaron Picos, or like, you're not getting these wannabe hardcore, like, Vadim Nemkov is the best fighter in the world. The best light heavyweight in the world or whatever. You're not getting these Johnny Eblen beat Strickers Duplessis fake hardcores over buying the pay-per-view because they've got 39-year-old Patricio fucking Pitbull in the co-main event against Dan Ige, who's coming off a win over Sean Woodson. Like, what is this? And it's not like Pitbull beat Yair. If Pitbull had beat Yair and then he was fighting, like, Arnold Allen in the co-main or some shit, or if he was fighting a Lopez in the co-main or a Movzar in the co-main, I'd get it. I'd be like, sick. He's coming off a lopsided decision, relatively boring loss to Yair Rodriguez, and he didn't do anything in that fight to prove that he was particularly good. Because Yair is good, but Yair didn't run him over, but also Pitbull didn't look good. Like, Pitbull just did a whole lot of nothing in that fight. So maybe he comes out here and looks good, but this is Unk Pitbull, nowhere near his prime, fighting in a pay-per-view co-main event in the UFC. This is not Bellator. Like, what are we doing? Honestly, I'm kind of down for the UFC at some point to do a card with MVP, with Pico, with Pitbull, with Patchy Mix, with, like, these other guys from other promotions, like with Akaya Sakura, with these guys. Like, I'd actually be kind of down to see that. Let me know in the comments. Would you be down for them to just run a PFL card, a PFL Bellator card, but in the UFC, and just mog the PFL's numbers, but put them against UFC fighters who are gonna beat them, and try and make it so that they all lose, and so the PFL Bellator guys go like 0 for 6 on the main card. That would be tremendous. But yeah, I'll probably pick Dan Ige just because I'm not picking an unproven 38-year-old Bellator fighter who's out of their prime. Like, Dan Ige is not particularly incredible, but he always beats the unranked caliber guys. We saw it with Sean Woodson, and to me, until proven otherwise, I'm just going to assume that at this age, at this point of his career, Pitbull is not a ranked quality fighter. Like, I would pick Jose Delgado to KO this guy. Anyway, let's move on. Now, hey, how do you not put 0-2 Robert Valentin in the feature fight of a pay-per-view? Now, I get it. This is going to be fun, but again, I'm sorry. This is not about just fun. Like, I get it, they're centering it around Poirier, they don't give a fuck about the rest of the card, even though they're still making it a pay-per-view. Like, if they made this a fight night, and it's just Poirier, Holloway on free TV, I wouldn't give a fuck if they put, like, fucking Neil Magny, Gunnar Nelson as the co-main. Like, I wouldn't care. If it's free TV, we're getting Poirier, Holloway, I couldn't care less, honestly. But it's like, this is paid television for those who are choosing to, and it's where the rest of us are streaming it. But, again, you're complaining about fucking illegal streams and shit, Dana. Like, we're coming for the fucking money, you piece of shit. Like, Dana's, I will personally find you and send you to federal fucking prison. Like, these guys are, like, they're somehow confused about piracy rates going through the roof. It's like, yeah, because you're pumping out a dog shit product at a higher price point. Like, no one complained about 300 being $80 because people bought it. I mean, some people probably streamed it still, but like, I guarantee you they don't release the pay-per-view numbers anymore. That would have done a whole lot fucking more than UFC 289 Aldana versus Nunes. And if you're pumping out Aldana versus Nunes and fucking, like, whatever 279 was and this bullshit, and like even 315 was pretty mid, you can't 312. If you're pumping out Justin Tafa feature fights, you cannot complain about people streaming cards. Like, you should honestly encourage it. Just be like, yeah, we're pumping out dog shit. If you pay for this, you're dumb as fuck. Like, that's what I would be doing if I'm just honesty. Just be like, yeah, I don't know what we did with this card. We somehow managed to produce some absolute trash on paper. So yeah, you should definitely not pay for this. Like if they're being on in the countdown, UFC 312 Stream East, like that's what you know how they used to name all the pay-per-views, like fucking Royal Rumble or some bullshit like that, or fucking Surging Stars or some bullshit. Like they'd put all the weird goofy names on the pay-per-views, like the under the number, whatever. UFC 312 cracked streams, like just stream this shit, like. But what are we doing here? Like, this is going to be fun, and Gautier's probably going to kill him, but, like, this fight gains nothing by being in a feature fight of a pay-per-view. Like, I guess you want more eyeballs on it. I'm going to just say one thing. There's going to be, first of all, the clip is going to get the same amount of eyeballs regardless. If you put this on the pay-per-view fucking co-main event, it's going to get the same amount of social media views as it is if you put it as the first fight of the fucking night. Because if Atiba Gautier delivers a round one brutal knockout, it's going to be on fucking SportsCenter. It's going to get played. Maybe not if it's on the early prelims. But, like, featured prelim. I'm going to talk about at the end of the video what they should actually order this card. This should be the featured prelim. It would get more views. More people watch the featured prelim than the pay-per-view portion of the card, unless the pay-per-view is really good. Like, okay, obviously, more people watched Van Royval than Hermansson Rodriguez. But, like, if you've got a hyped up event, or there's people who are, like, kind of tuning in, a lot of them will watch the featured prelim. And it's a good spotlight. Like, we just saw RoboCop kill a man, and he was in the featured spot, and that got mad interactions and crazy view numbers on social media. So I get what they're doing here. I'm not under any illusion like, oh my god, what is the logic? Like, I know what they're doing. They want to get Gautier as a star. The dude's 23 and he's won one fight against Jesse fucking Medina. Like, Jose Medina. Like, I don't know what the kid's name is. This fat fucking Bolivian. But, like, what are we doing here? Like, I don't get it. Like, he's won one fight. He doesn't deserve we're putting this kid on a featured fight of a pay-per-view. Like, give this man all the eyeballs in the world. He's not from Louisiana, I can fucking tell you that by looking at him. And I know Robert Valentin ain't from Louisiana either. He's from fucking Switzerland, because my moderator loves the man. One of my mods in my YouTube live chat is a big fan of Robert Valentin. But regardless, I'm picking Gautier by KO. He might get fraud checked. Like, there's a good chance he's mid. He does have a loss in his career, but he's 23. I don't believe he's 23, but he's apparently 23. So I will just believe that he's gonna be improving. But yeah, I don't know what we're doing here. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Roman Kopylov vs Paulo Costa. I got no complaints about this on the main card. This is solid. I'm picking Roman Kopylov. I already talked about this fight. Like, I've talked about this fight for 317. When I did my initial reaction to that card. This is a good fight. I'm excited. I think Costa's going to get tuned the fuck up. I don't think he's 100% disciplined to the game anymore. I don't think he's a proper fighter. I can definitely see some people just like coat picking Costa or just picking him because they don't actually know that he's not good anymore. I think he's just going to get pieced up. Like, I think he's just going to do what Whittaker did. And I don't think he has the same chin issues as Whittaker. So I think it's just going to be heavy kicks. He's going to tune him up. He might be mid and he might lose. I am interested in seeing how this fight goes somewhat, if Costa's not completely washed and shit. But if I had to pick, give me Kopylov by TKO. Anyway, let's move on. This is the one that actually pisses me off more. Like, why are we putting fucking Michael Johnson on a pay-per-view? This is not Noche. This is not like, oh, we need to have this guy representing on the card. Like Kim vs. Ribovic, where it's like, oh, this is actually a banger. Like, he's probably just going to KO Michael Johnson. Like, you don't get anything out of this being on the pay-per-view, except less people watching. Because no one's trying to pay for... No one's going to look at this... Because, again, I'm using the casual test, because that's what the UFC is basically riding on now, because the hardcore's always going to be there, but why do you think Dana White fucking wants Steve Wildu and Aiden Ross and shit, and these fucking spastic social media guys? Why do you think they want them cage side? Do you think Aiden Ross's viewers are hardcore UFC fans? If anyone in my comments is an Aiden Ross fan, first of all, you should probably just click off the video and just hang yourself. And second of all, I don't think you're a hardcore fan if you also watch Aiden fucking Ross. If you find Aiden Ross amusing, you're probably 12 years of age, meaning you don't get to use your own device. So, you watch a fucking iPad for an hour a day because your parents can't be bothered looking after you. Like, that is the explanation for Aiden Ross fans in any comment section. But this will be fun. Like, again, I'm not under any illusion. This card is going to be fun. Like, this is going to be more fun than most of these Saudi Abu Dhabi cards that they end up doing that always go to decision. Because they get all these stacked names, but none of the guys are actually finishers. I do think this coming Abu Dhabi card is going to have a few more finishes than the regular, than the norm. But there's still a good chance Movzar Pico is mid. And there's a really good chance that Jan kind of stinks it up against McGee to avoid a power threat. There's a good chance that Shara, it looks mid as fuck against Berryu. Like, there is a good chance some of these... There's a good chance Saeed just point kicks Bryce Mitchell at range, or Bryce lays on him, because Bryce isn't an exciting fighter, and don't let MMA Guru tell you otherwise. He's a boring fucking fighter. He's just got personality and he's based, but cunt is not fun to watch when he's winning. I'm just saying, like, Guru, I'm going to go, this is the quick 30-second thing I need to get off my chest. Not off my chest, like, I don't really care, but, like, MMA Guru will fucking shout down the rooftops, just hurling insults at Caucus fighters and these daggies, which is fair, because a lot of them are boring as fuck, or these Georgians, or anyone. Anyone that isn't from America or England or Australia that fights with a somewhat boring style, he'll just hate them. Bryce Mitchell has never been and is not a fun fighter. Like, he is fun when he's getting his ass beat because he gets beat well. Like, because his style gets beat well. But, like, I've not been particularly enthralled. I'm not saying he's boring, but, like, he is not a fun fighter. There are Dagestanis that are more fun than Bryce Mitchell. There you go, I said it. Probably lost a couple subscribers with that. I'm sorry, but that's my take. He's probably going to lose to Saeed Nurmagomedov. It's not going to be that fun as well. But, like, this card will probably end up being more fun in execution than Abu Dhabi. Doesn't change the fact that they are expecting people to pay for Michael Johnson on a pay-per-view. Like, that's outrageous. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. So, prelims, we're skimming through these. Brendan Allen, Marvin Vettori. A lot of people are like, why isn't this the co-main? This is going to be a shit fight. So I do get it. I think it should still be on the main card, just name value-wise, there is beef there as well. So you want these two at the press conference. Like, if this stays on the prelims, and we don't get Vettori Allen at the press conference, they're missing out. Because, I'm sorry, Patricio Pitbull and Dan Ige are not going to say anything at the press conference. Michael Johnson and Daniel Zellhuber are not going to say anything at the press conference. They are missing, and I just realised this, a golden opportunity if they keep this on the prelims. They are missing a golden opportunity to have Paulo Costa and Marvin Vettori at the same press conference. And obviously Brendan Allen will be trash-talking Vettori as well. And who knows, Brendan Allen will probably trash-talk Paulo Costa. Like, if they, please, I beg of the UFC to not fumble this, put Gautier in the fucking featured prelim spot, and please make us... Because I'm sorry, again, I don't know much about Gautier's trash talk game. Something tells me he's going to say a total of fucking 3 different words of English. Like, this is, like, pay-per-view, like, press con... I don't know what they're doing. Anyway, press conference, please make it happen. But I'm picking Allen. Vettori's just old and has never been good. He's shit. Like, this is the caliber of title defenses of Israel Adesanya. This win gets Izzy top 10. If you ask Kenneth Okoye, this is one of those legendary I miss prime Izzy, bro, title wins. This is one of them, by the way, that has people in casuals in comment sections acting like Prime Izzy was a fucking generational talent. Anyway, though, let's move on. This is no joke, like the best fight on the card. Now I'm biased because I love Vinicius Oliveira. This is the second best fight. Okay. The main event's still the best fight. This is, to me, like the most interesting fight on the card. I'm more interested in this and more hyped to watch Vinicius Oliveira fight again than I am to watch Poirier Holloway for the 3rd time. Again, maybe I'm just the king of, like, overhyping lower ranked fights over bigger fights that don't actually mean much to me. But, like, I can find more enjoyment and more hype out of an unranked / back-end ranking fight than I can in some main events. Like, that's just my take, and this is something that you'll get out of me a lot. And I'm going to do a separate video on that Apex card, another rant about why they need to get out of the Apex, because they're killing probably what's going to be one of the best fight nights of the year. But I'm picking Vinicius Oliveira. You already know what it is. He's going to tune He's going to tune Kyler Phillips the fuck up. He'll grapple if he needs to. I don't see Kyler Phillips winning this shit. Anyway, PED cheat as well, so he's going to get his ass whooped. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Gunnar Nelson's going to sub Neil Magny. I don't care about this fucking fight. I thought this was going to be on the main card originally. That's how little hope I had for this card. Kevin Holland, D-Rod, it's just a Kevin Holland fight. I think this will probably end up on the main card, because they don't normally finalize the main card. Like, you'll get the final version when it comes out, like, probably 2 weeks before or whatever. Big Marcel will post it on Twitter. But I don't know if this ends up on the prelims. If it does, I guess cool, Kevin Holland. But, like, you'd think they'd put Holland on the main card. Because still, Holland will be fun and he's a name. Like, if you can get fun and a name, that's the double whammy. Because it seems right now they're going for fun more than names on the main card. Because they're doing... But Pitbull Ego is not even going to be fun. Like, that has a good chance of being mid as fuck. But yeah, I'm going to pick Kevin Holland by KO. I don't know why the fuck he's fighting Daniel Rodriguez. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, prelims, Islam Dulatov. We've been waiting for this guy's debut. This fight was supposed to happen at Seattle. It ended up getting pushed back somehow, like 5 months. Dulatov's going to sleep him. Anyway, next up, we got Jimmy Crute, Marcin Prachnio. Yeah, just real bummy light heavyweight fights. You know, this was booked for the UFC Perth card. Prachnio pulled out. Crute fought Bellato, or the Sydney, wherever the fuck it took place. I don't know why the UFC was just so invested in this fight they needed to rebook it, but cool, I guess. Prachnio's got shit grappling. He got subbed by Modestas Bukauskas, so Crute will sub him, but it's also hard to trust a Crute pick. Anyway, let's move on. Hey, I'm putting y'all on game. If you don't know, now you know. Nicole Kalari. Kid's a savage. No, as in not savage. Kid's, yeah. Just check the Instagram, kid, let me tell you. Nicole Kalari's solid, and there's such she will be losing because she's attractive, and Carla Judice looks inbred. Carla Judice is winning, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, yeah, I'm not kidding though. Nicole Kalari's Instagram, there's some gems there. You got to scroll down a bit earlier before she got more into the UFC career. Pre-UFC regional scenes, there's some good stuff there. Anyway... I swear, guys, this was the first photo that showed up. I couldn't find an actual UFC stock image of her. She's got some tits on her. She's got a good ass. Left lane approved. Anyway, let's move on, though, to the last fight. I lied, there's 2 more. Prado versus Nikolai Varetnikov. Prado, because fuck Nikolai Varetnikov, he's a bitch. And then Ryan Spann will probably chin Lucas Bershke, but just like Jimmy Crute, you cannot trust Ryan Spann to win a fight. Anyway, so now I'm going to go through my card order. Because the current card order, and I'll read it out, because we lost Ikram Aliskerov versus Bruno Ferreira, which if that fight was on the card still, there'd be 15 fights. So, I mean, maybe they replace Bruno Ferreira's opponent and just be like, fuck it, we're just ramming fights down your fucking throat for like 10 hours for today. But right now, the card order sits at, this is just based off Sherdog, this is the pay-per-view main card order's seemingly set. Poirier Holloway, Ige Pitbull, Gautier Valentin, Costa Kopilov, Zellhuber Johnson. They're expecting $80 for that, by the way, guys. No one should pay that. Prelims, Vittori Allen, Oliveira Phillips, Holland D-Rod, Magny Nelson. Early prelims, Dulatov, Fugit, Crute Prachnio. My girlfriend's fighting Carla Judice. And then Ryan Spann versus Lucas Bershke. But my card order, and this is why I'm just better... And this makes the most sense. If you guys have any changes that you would make... Okay, we're accepting we're not getting any more fights. If this did have a Gene Silva co-main event... Like, if Yair had not been a bitch and fought Lopez... And we'd done, like, a Gene Silva Arnold Allen on this card... Or a Gene Silva versus Aljo... Or a Gene Silva versus anyone... Sick. We had multiple options for co-mains that they could have done... But guess none of them could pan out. But my order, obviously the main event, Poirier Holloway. I would co-main Costa Kopilov. I think Costa is the second biggest name or third biggest name on this card, I should say. Maybe you can argue that Holland's a bigger name. I think Costa and Holland, but you're not going to co-main Holland D-Rod. So I would co-main Costa Kopilov. Again, there's not many good options. Like, none of these fights are co-main worthy. I would put Oliveira Phillips as the feature fight of the card because I think that's going to be the best fight of the card. And in my opinion, because we saw Van versus Royval, and we see the benefit of putting... Obviously, it helps more. That worked out even better because the title fight in the same division was the fight after. But having those crazy fight of the night candidates in the feature fight is beneficial to me, and I think that's probably what you'll get with Oliveira Phillips. Like, you'll get a very good fight. Victoria Allen's second fight of the main card, you don't want to open it with the main card because it'll probably be shit, and you don't want to lead off. Like, you want a good 3-end run. But it still needs to be on the main card, so you get it at the press conference. Open up with Holland versus D-Rod. That's where Holland should always be main card opener spots. Just get an easy KO, that'll be good. Prelims, as I said, featured prelim Gauthier vs Valentin. If you want to spotlight him, do it there. We don't need to spotlight Dan Ige, Patricio Pitbull. Again, if they've got that in the co-main, it's definitely not moving from there. But yeah, I don't think that should be on the main card, to be honest. If you want to say put that as the feature fight and put Oliveira Phillips on the prelims, sure. I think Oliveira Phillips is going to be a marginally, or noticeably, I should say, better fight. Otherwise, Magny Nelson, because I don't think you want to, and then you want to open the prelims with Zellhuber Johnson, end the early prelims with Dulatov. I think they pretty much got the early prelims right because they're all bum fights, but Dulatov at the end of the early prelims. I also wouldn't mind putting Dulatov as the prelim opener, and so you open up the prelims with Dulatov, close the prelims with Gauthier, you get that spotlight on both of them. But yeah, Span, Bereshki, Judice, Kalari, and then Krut, Pacino, whatever. That prelim order really doesn't matter as long as Dulatov's in the featured early prelim. Anyway, guys, that will do it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what you think of this card. What would you make the card order as well? What are your predictions? Alright, I promise I'm done fucking around now. I had a bunch of videos I wanted to do. I still do have more that I wanted to get out beforehand, but I will be doing the prison hierarchy tier list next because I know you guys are going to be harassing me about that. So yeah, goodbye.